Hey, welcome to Capture, Convert, Close. I'm your host, Althea Hearst, broker, real estate educator, and someone who genuinely loves breaking this business down in a way that actually makes sense. This podcast is for real estate agents and entrepreneurs who want real strategy. We're talking lead generation, systems, mindset, money, and how to build a business that works directly for you, not the other way around. If you're ready to get clear, get confident, and close with intention, you're in the right place. What breaks when systems are missing in a realtor's business and how to fix it? Hey guys, it's Althea Hearst, managing broker here at Arla, and I want to talk to agents who feel like they're constantly and consistently on edge. And it's not because you're bad at real estate. No, it's not that. It's not because you don't care. No, we know you really do care. You actually care. And it's not because you're a bad agent, because you're not, right? And maybe because your business feels like it's being held together by your memory, by notes on your phone, screenshots that you took that you forgot to organize, the last little bit of hope that you have left in your bones, and the last little bit of faith that you're holding on to with this business because you just know that it can work. You just got to get it done. So this episode is about what actually breaks when systems are missing in your real estate business and how to start fixing it without overwhelming yourself. Because systems aren't about control, they're about relief. You, my friend, you run your business. Don't let your business run you. So first, let's talk about this. Follow-up doesn't just break, it disappears. Can I say that again? Follow-up doesn't just break, it disappears. When systems are missing, follow-up doesn't fall behind, it goes ghost. What happens is that your leads come through, right? They're coming in through your Instagram DMs. They're coming in through your Facebook messages. They're coming in through text messaging, emails, open houses, referrals, forums that you may have, events that you may have attended, evergreen that you may have going. And instead of having all of those leads flow into one place, into one funnel, they scatter about and you have no idea where they're living, how they're existing, and who was the last person that you talked to. And then guess what you do? You begin to tell yourself, I'll remember, I'll circle back around, I'll reach out later. Oh man, I forgot. I'll call them tomorrow. You know what? Let me just send a text right now and let them know I'll follow up. But then embarrassment seeks in, and that later becomes never. It never gets done. And what this costs you, it costs you a lot. It means that warm leads or maybe even hot leads, they quietly may move on because they're not going to keep tracking you down for your business. So now you're having missed closings that you never track. You're getting online and you're seeing these same people closing with someone else. And now that income that feels inconsistent and unpredictable, it's happening. It's real time. You feel it. Okay. So how do you fix this? How do you get this? You don't need a perfect CRM setup, you all. You just need one rule. Every lead goes into one place within 24 hours. Period. Every lead needs to funnel into one place within 24 hours. When you think about all of your different lead systems and all of your different lead pipelines and channels, each of those should lead into one place. And this place could be your CRM, whichever one you're using. This could be a Google sheet. This could be a Word Excel sheet. This could be a notes app. This could even be something if you're the type of person that like to write things down. This could be you writing it down on a piece of paper or on a whiteboard somewhere. But what matters is your consistency. It has to go somewhere, okay? So once you have that funnel, then you create one follow-up flow, right? Funnel flow. You got to stay in rhythm. Okay, so then you create one follow-up flow. Day one is your personal reach out. You're checking in. Hey, what's going on, right? Personal touch. Day three is your check-in, okay? After that, week one might be a value-based touch. This might be you educating them, you giving them an update on their current zip code, on the current market that they're shopping in, on what interest rates are doing, or what programs may be coming out, right? And then from there, weekly or bi-weekly, you're consistently staying in contact with them. Clarity comes when follow-up stops living in your head. In order for you to have a clear business, in order for you to have a clear funnel, in order for you to have clear closes in your pipeline, You got to get out your head. You got to stop living there. You got to get in the game. You got to work the business. Second, your time starts bleeding out without your systems. Your time doesn't feel used, it feels leaked, and you feel like the days are just going by, right? You're busy all day, but nothing feels like it's complete. You're walking around, you're moving around, you're feeling like you're doing all these things that's productive, but in all honesty, you're not, right? Your day feels busy, but nothing feels complete because you're constantly looking for things. You're constantly rewriting messages. You're constantly re-answering questions, switching your tasks. And this is costing you. And what is costing you is one, longer work days. We got into this business as a full-time agent, as an entrepreneur, to work for ourselves and control our time. And now you have longer work days. What is also costing you is shorter patience. Your phone ring and you roll your eyes and you go, ah, this is heavy. I don't feel like taking this call. Oh my God, they're calling, and I was supposed to call them yesterday and I totally forgot. Oh my goodness, I'm being held accountable for my business and I see myself as my worst employee and I have to do this and I did not. And now I don't have patience. Now, because I don't have patience, now I have less energy for my income producing work. And that's not how we operate in abundance, you all. So, how to fix that is you start documenting what you repeat. This is what I call your SOP. Now, if you have somebody that works for you, the key to this is you have them document what you repeat, or you have them document what you repeat and what they repeat. But if you don't have nobody in your business right now, and honestly, if your business isn't completely in flow and abundant and you don't have a lot of business, this is the perfect time for you to do this, to start documenting which you repeat, so that way you can have written processes. If you've done it more than twice, it deserves a system. And if I can say that again, I want to. If you've done it more than twice, it deserves a system. This is an example for, let's just say, a buyer welcome message, right? Someone just came into your pipeline and you want to send them a welcome message that says, thank you so much for connecting with me. It was great speaking with you. Here's my contact information. That's a buyer's welcome message, right? Maybe this is a lender pre-approval email. Maybe once you connect with a buyer and you send them for pre-approval, you have a pre-approval email already in your template section inside of your emails or inside of your CRM, right? This could be an email of you talking about or showcasing the process and explaining it. This could be an offer timeline breakdown. This could be listing prep expectations. This could be a photo. I'm literally visualizing my database, right? This could be how to prepare for photographs, right before you go on the market. This could be how to prepare for a new construction contract signing, and when to schedule your inspection and what inspectors you currently refer, right? This is all a system. If you find yourself repeatedly sending out these emails, then it deserves a system. If you find yourself sending these emails out more than twice, then it deserves a system. If you're getting started in your business and you know that sometime coming up in the near future, you're going to be sending out these emails, it deserves a system. So write it once and review and reuse it forever. Write it once and reuse it forever, because this isn't laziness. This is leadership. This is CEO. Okay. Third, what happens is the client experience becomes inconsistent. And here's the hard truth about that, because your client experience is everything. Without systems, clients don't get your best. They get whatever version of you shows up that day. And that's unfair to you. And that's unfair to them, because you have bad days. And the last thing you want is for your client to catch you on your bad day and you show up poorly because your systems aren't built, but the system was there to protect the experience that you cultivate within your business. So you want for your clients to feel informed, to feel confident, to feel supported, okay? When you don't have your systems in place and you are showing up in your business on a bad day and your systems aren't doing the good work for you, then your clients will feel unsure, confused. They will even feel neglected. And if you don't realize it, this could cost you your business. It could cost you fewer referrals. It could cost you a quiet dissatisfaction. And I think that that is perfect to, talk about, because in this business, we know that we will work with individuals and we might do something that dissatisfies them. And a lot of times they won't communicate that with us. They'll just go to the next person, especially if there's no agency agreement, right? And if you're in the beginning of your funnel, in the beginning of your client experience, technically you're courting this relationship. So your first impression matters. And if you dissatisfy them or turn them off in the beginning, they will quietly leave your funnel. And if your follow up isn't great, guess what? You won't even know until they close. You will have no idea until they close. So, how to fix that, you guys, is that you create client milestones. Here's your ask. This is what you ask yourself. What should every client experience look like at this stage? What should every client experience look like at this stage? And then you systematize it. That's going to be a welcome email. That could be a what to expect guide. That could be a weekly update rhythm. That could be a closing prep checklist. That could be whatever you desire to be. The thing is the consistency in your systems is what builds trust. And your trust is what builds referrals into your business. And the referrals that come into your business is what builds your closings. Fourth, your mental health pays the price. Can we talk about this? I think that this is something really good to talk about because you guys know I'm human. I'm a broker. I'm responsible for over 100 million in sales. I've helped over 600 families purchase and sell properties and reach their real estate goals. And mental health is a part. Mental health plays a part, and your mental health also pays the price. Because I would sit here and lie to you all if I told you that there were moments where I did not pop up in the middle of the night. I mean, at least I'm thinking I'm sleeping good, right? And then my whole upper torso just literally sits up and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to blank blank blank, right? Or I'm in the shower and I'm thinking I'm trying to relax, and the next thing you know, I'm stomping my foot and almost slipping and falling because I'm so disappointed in myself that I forgot something. Or I'm driving in a car and now boom, it hits my memory and I forgot something. And before I can even take action, I start to beat myself up. So now my mental health is paying a price because now I'm coming down on myself hard. I feel like if you can relate to this, you're being honest. If you do not relate to this, I feel like maybe you just have not experienced this business in its totality and in the reality of what it actually looks like, because I feel like every agent has been there. If you have not, then granted, perfect. You're great. You're perfect. But I know that I have been there, right? So let's talk about the part that nobody talks about on Instagram is that without systems, your brain never shuts off. And the thing about this is so funny is that when your brain never shuts off, now you're battling with built up anxiety and everything just feels so antsy, right? You don't trust yourself to remember things. You feel guilty now for resting because you know you got stuff to do, but you also know that you're so mentally tired that you're physically exhausted. You're consistently double checking your work to make sure everything is right. And you're not even realizing that this isn't ambition. This is literally anxiety. And this is costing you poor sleep. It's costing you emotional exhaustion. It's costing you decision fatigue. It's costing you loss of confidence. And you're trying to figure out what in the world is happening. Am I spiraling? And how do I fix this? How do I fix this? Right? So I'm going to give you some answers. One, you have to keep in mind that systems are external memory. They're external memory, not internal memory. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is peace within yourself, within your business, within your clients, within your audience, within your systems. Start with this. Have one master checklist per transaction, if that works for you. One master checklist per transaction. So that way you can check off everything that needs to be done as you maneuver and meet each milestone through a transaction. Here's something that I would like to say. Now I don't do this to this day, right? Because business grew so quickly that I couldn't keep up. I actually couldn't. I actually ended up having to hire W-2 employees, ICAs, OCAs, all the things, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But when I first got started in this business, I was so big on organization, and this was not taught to me by a coach. This was just me leaning in and knowing what I desired and wanted for myself in order to keep me aligned. And if you don't remember, not sure if I shared the story, but I got started in real estate because I was looking to purchase a property, and I had two failed transactions. And I just felt like at the moment, the agents that I was working with, the lenders that I was working with, no one could explain to me what was happening, what was going wrong. And I am the kind of person that I'm going to create my yes anytime you tell me no. Even if I tell myself no, I'm going to create my yes. So, though I was disappointed, though I was discouraged, though I was dismayed, though I was emotional, I got up and took my butt to real estate school because I was going to give myself my yes, right? And once I went into real estate school, my very first sale as a real estate agent was my very first home. So, I was my first client. However, when I took myself through that process, I created an internal checklist system for me that actually was a binder. So that's what I was getting to, was when I first started in this business, I actually had a little binder. It was like a zero point 0.5 or a 1-inch binder that I had created literally for each of my transactions. And I would proudly bring these binders, and it's crazy because I'm literally going down memory lane. I would proudly bring these binders to my consultations like, hey, this is a copy of a previous client's binders. This is what you're going to get. This is part of my client experience. This is how I stay on top of your paperwork, right? And at the front of the binder was literally a checklist of everything that was required. And throughout the binder were tabs of each and every milestone. And behind each tab was the completion of that checklist. Now, yes, that was a lot of paper. But again, some people really love to work with their hands, write things down, and actually be able to feel something tangible. And then some people thrive with the electronic process. The thing is, there is no rule to correction. It's just, or there is no rule to how to actually do it. It's just about getting it done the way that it works for you and getting it done the way that it works for your business. So do whatever you please, right? But create yourself one master checklist per transaction, one place for client communication, one daily review habit. And when your systems hold these details, your mind will then be able to breathe a lot more clearly. Okay. Fifth, if that's your is that your growth becomes impossible. Okay. When your systems are in place, your growth is limitless. And I say that as someone who has maneuvered through this business. And I haven't even been in this business 10 years. I mean, I started in 2016, and I had my first sale, which was my own home, in November of 2016. And here we are, December of 2025. So almost at 10 years, but I'm 9 years in. And my growth, for some people, are like, wow, how? But when my systems are in place, my growth was limited. But I had to absolutely be consistent with my systems. So here's where agents get stuck for years. And I say this so nicely because now on my podcast, I'm being honest, right? I am working on my delivery, right? Making sure, because I know that I can be a very straightforward talker, and I know that I could use words sometimes that could be a little hurtful, right? And not hurtful like intentionally hurtful, but it'll hurt you like, oh, she talking to me, right? And depending upon what your internal accountability system looks like, it actually might hit you really, really hard, right? So here's where agents get stuck for years. And when I say that, I mean those agents who have been licensed for 5, 6, 7, 8 years and consistently have inconsistent business. Like, I personally know agents, I have interviewed agents who have literally been licensed for 8 years and never closed a deal, who have been licensed for 10 years and is basically a rookie agent. And this is why I tell people, the tenure that someone has in this industry, honestly, to me, means nothing, because what have you done in that time. Anybody can hold a real estate license for 10 years and never write a contract, right? So here's where agents get stuck for years without systems. They get stuck with having more leads equaling more chaos, having more clients equaling more stress. And let me stop here real quick too, because if you have more leads and you have more clients, some of this stress should be eliminated by outsourcing tasks. And one thing that I know is that a lot of agents have an issue with delegation. And we all battle with the mindset of, nobody's going to do it like me. And that's so far from the truth, right? Because as you get more leads and as you get more clients and as you get more closings, you should definitely start in hiring internally to have people pick up on these processes and systems so that way you can focus on your zone of genius, your superpower, your money in your income generating money generating efforts that you excel at, right? So more leads for you will equal more chaos if you don't have your systems. More clients for you will equal more stress if you don't have your systems. More volume for you will equal a lot of burnout. I couldn't even get it out because I literally felt it. I remember having so much volume and I was literally burnt out. I remember being pregnant with my last baby and I had around about 12 people under contract and I was so burnt out. I mean, burnt out and pregnant. Not a good mix, right? So what ends up happening is that subconsciously you stop growing. You subconsciously stop growing as an agent. You subconsciously stop growing as a person. You subconsciously stop growing as a CEO, as a business owner. And this causes you stagnant income. This causes you fear of expansion because let's be real, that is a very, very common fear. And as you grow in life, in entrepreneurship, in business, in this business, in any avenue or endeavor of business that you desire to seek, those fears get louder. And I say that as someone who has done a lot of great things, right? Humbly speaking, I'm just being so honest with you guys. Those fears get louder, like they do not disappear. And you begin to have to tell yourself, like, hey, if I made it through this in the beginning, I can make it through this in the middle. If I made it through this in the middle, I can make it through this during this time, right? But the fear of expansion doesn't, in my opinion, and if you disagree, contact me, let me know. It doesn't disappear, it grows louder. And then what happens is that you have missed opportunities. You have people reaching out to you. You might even have speaking engagement opportunities. You may have opportunities to receive an award, opportunities to just be in a specific room that can help elevate you and put you in different spaces, and you miss out, right? You miss out on these great and amazing connections. And so how do we fix this? How do we fix this? This is what I tell my agents, right? You guys know I'm managing broker over at Arla. And if you are looking at switching brokerages and having someone that supports you wholeheartedly and genuinely, let's have a conversation. This is what I tell my agents, right? Build your systems before you're ready. Even if you're a new agent, for my new agents that's coming in, I tell them all the time, they're like, okay, so where do I get started? I'm like, listen, we can start marketing, we can start promotion, we can start putting you out there, absolutely. But while all of that is going on in the background, I need you to build your systems, especially if your goal is for you to get your business to wherever you desire for it to go. If that's six figures, 50,000, 75,000, 100,000, 150,000, 200,000, 250,000, wherever you desire to go, because none of it is the wrong answer. Wherever you desire to go, your systems need to match that. So ask yourself, if I had 10 more clients this month, what would break? Take your time right now. If you had 10 more clients this month, what would break? What would break? Think about that, right? And whatever the answer to that question is, that's what you're going to fix first. Your growth should feel supported, not scary. Okay? You shouldn't be scared of your growth. Your growth should feel supported to the point that you feel like you have so much support in your growth that you're confident in what your next level and your next season is going to look like, is going to feel like. Okay? 6 is that if your systems aren't together, you guys, like I said before, your confidence starts to crack. It starts to crumble and it starts to fall apart. This one is subtle, right? When systems are missing, you hesitate in your appointments. You are really last minute. I know agents who don't have systems together. They get a listing appointment and they had this thing on their calendar for a week now. And then it's the day of the listing appointment and they're scrambling and running to Staples to go ahead and get the listing agreement printed out and get the listing presentation printed out and grab a tangible gift or something to leave with the client, right? When your systems are missing, you hesitate in appointments, you're ill prepared, you avoid explaining your process because you don't have a checklist to go by to make sure you don't miss a step. And then guess what? You second guess yourself. You're sitting there like, did I do it all? Did I miss anything? Did I cover it? Did I forget? And it's not because you lack the knowledge, because you clearly know what you're talking about. You know, and we're going to do an episode about that because there are a lot of agents that know what they're talking about, but they are so afraid to give the wrong information. But we'll get to that, right? But you know what you're talking about. So it's not because you lack the knowledge, but it's because you lack the structure. And what this costs you is the authority in your business, the confidence in yourself, the conversion you need to close. It's costing you authority, confidence, and conversion. So here we are. How do you fix this? Clarity creates confidence. I call it the triple C. Clarity creates confidence. Confidence. When you know, when you know what happens next, you know how to communicate. When you know what happens next, you know how to follow up. When you know what happens next, you show up differently. Systems don't box you in, y'all. Systems, they back you up. Think of it as your best friend. I know we all got that one close friend or that one close cousin that we know if we in our sleep and we're fighting in our dream, we can wake up, call them, and they're going to go to sleep with us. Right? So systems don't box you in, they back you up. And seventh, I think I'm going to bring it in here. We're at 26 minutes already. This is the real shift, right? Here's where the mindset shift, here's the mindset shift that I want for you to leave with. I want for you to leave with this. Systems are not for the big agents. So I don't care where you are in your business. And if I be quite honest, there are a lot of big agents or agents that you think are big, that are top producers, who don't have systems. I've met $100 million agents who are selling hundreds of millions in years, who are dealing with clients and have a clientele of an average sales price of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million. And guess what? They don't have systems. So systems are not for big agents. They're for agents who want sustainability. You don't build systems because you're overwhelmed. You build systems so you don't stay overwhelmed. You build systems because you're a CEO. You start small. You start imperfect. Can I say that again? You start small. You start imperfect. You start where it hurts the most. So here is our final action plan that I want for you guys to take away from this episode when you leave. Okay. This week, going into this week, I want for you to pick one area that feels heavy in your business right now. I don't care what it is. Let's think about all the areas that feel heavy. Think about it with me. Take a deep breath. That was a fast one, but still, take it, right? What feels heavy in your business right now? Is it your follow up? Is it your lead generation? Is it your event planning? Is it your seminars? Is it your ability to show up for yourself? What area is it your marketing? Is it your sales? Is it your education? What area of your business feel heavy right now? Write down how that area should work. You guys know I get tongue tied. But figure out what area feels heavy, write down how it should work, and use it every time. And improve it as you go. Improve it as you go. Here's something that I also didn't talk about is that once you put your systems together, and I know I said I was going to close this out, but once you put your systems together, they don't get created and then work forever. Your systems grow with you and they improve as you grow. They improve as you go. And in that improvement, sometimes that means some things will have to be removed, replaced, or even created. So your momentum comes from your clarity, and your clarity comes from your systems. All right, you guys. If this episode hits close to home, that's your sign. I'm glad. I really wanted it to. I really wanted this episode to pull on you. I wanted it to hit close to home. I wanted it to be your sign. I wanted this to be your sign that you don't need more hustle. You need more support. And that support inside your business. Okay. If you want guidance on building systems that actually work in real life, connect with me. Follow me on Instagram at I am Althea Hearst. The link is in the description. And send this episode to an agent who's talented, but also exhausted because their business is everywhere. Your business shouldn't cost you your peace. It should cost you everything that you desired it to be worth. Okay? It shouldn't cost you your peace. All right, you guys, that's all I have, and talk with you soon. Before you go, remember this. You don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right things consistently. Thank you for spending time with me. If this episode spoke to you, share it, save it, and come back for the next one. I'm Althea Hearst, and you've been listening to Capture, Convert, Close.